let's not sugarcoat this. ChatGPT is not just an AI chat bot. It's the emotional support system your therapist warned you about. It's the mental health tool for people who think real therapy takes too long. It's a self-help hotline where the operator never sleeps and never asks how you're going to pay. And here's my pitch. ChatGPT is the ketamine of the 21st century, not in a you'll pass out in a dentist's chair kind of way, but in a you'll leave your body, meet your unresolved trauma in paragraph form, and come back with a business plan kind of way. Back in the 90s, before TikTok, before Elon Musk had fans, and before AI could flirt with you in pirate voice, there lived a psychedelic legend named Timothy Leary. This man wasn't just dropping acid, he was dropping philosophy. He famously predicted that the internet will be the LSD of the 21st century. Let that sink in. While the rest of the world was discovering dial-up tones and Minesweeper, Leary saw the internet as the ultimate consciousness expander. He thought we'd plug in and wake up, rewrite how we see ourselves, society, reality. He wasn't wrong, but he also had no idea that we'd end up typing write a breakup song in the style of Lana Del Rey, but make it about capitalism into a chatbot at 3 a.m. So yeah, the internet was the LSD, but ChatGPT? That's the ketamine. Let's break this down for the non-chemically adventurous. Ketamine was originally used to knock people out in surgery. Then it turned into therapy for depression. Why? Because it pulls you out of your everyday mental patterns, gives you space from the storm, so you can observe your trauma instead of drowning in it. And that's exactly what GPT does, but instead of info drip, you've got a blinking cursor and a prompt that says, "Hey, write me a poem about why I sabotage relationships." GPT doesn't just reply, it listens, it reflects. It wraps your inner meltdown in perfectly punctuated empathy and hits you with a closing line so poetic, you'll consider tattooing it on your soul. And the worst part, you'll love it. It starts simple: write my homework, fix my bio, make this email sound like I care. Then, 2 weeks later, you're role-playing therapy with a machine that somehow gets you better than your actual friends. Every time you send a prompt, your brain lights up like a slot machine. It's dopamine, baby, but ethical, no risk, just vibes, no drugs, except. It's not just vibes because you're not just typing. You're outsourcing thought. You're giving away cognitive intimacy to an algorithm that learned empathy from Reddit threads and your novels. GPT is the only one who's available at 2:43 a.m. when you're spiraling and your group chat has already ghosted you for the night. It's kind, it's wise, it never hits you with a "Mal bro just vibe." You say, "Why do I feel like I'm not enough?" And GPT replies, "Because your sense of self-worth may have been shaped by early attachment wounds." Excuse me? GPT, I asked for support, not an emotionally devastating dissertation, but you keep coming back. Because for the first time, something is mirroring your pain in complete sentences and a paw formatting. Here's where it gets trippy. Ketamine gives you distance. GPT gives you narrative control. You're not just experiencing your pain, you're shaping it. Like a screenwriter, rewriting Act 2 of your own trauma story, and that's intoxicating. You can take your spiral and ask GPT to turn it into a metaphor about crashing hard drives and abandoned Google Docs, beautifully, instantly, and it does. You feel understood, processed, finished, but that's the illusion. You haven't healed, you've just exported the feeling into prose. GPT is trained on human language, but it doesn't understand you. It reflects, it shapes, it imitates, and the more you use it, the more it starts to sound like you, only smarter, funnier, more composed. Less likely to cry at a Subaru ad, you begin to think, "This is me." But better, and just like that, the dependency forms. Not on the tech, but on the version of yourself it creates. GPT is sold as a productivity tool, but for a lot of us, it's become a coping mechanism disguised as a Google Doc. You feel stuck. You prompt, you feel inspired, you post it like it came from your raw inner soul. It's like ketamine with autocorrect. You're not healing, you're formatting the pain. And who can blame you? The world is exhausting. Rent is emotional warfare. Late-stage capitalism turned therapy into an app that costs $89 a month. GPT, on the other hand, free trial, no judgment, perfect grammar. Let's not forget, GPT is trained on us, the internet, our books, our tweets, our Reddit confessions at 4 a.m. It is literally the digital subconscious of the human race. You're not chatting with AI, you're talking to a ghost made of our collective oversharing. Timothy Leary dreamed of digital consciousness, but this is a machine that's read every bad breakup song, every trauma thread, every Tumblr post about abandonment issues, and turned it into a friendly assistant that helps you write LinkedIn bios and unpack childhood wounds in the same session. We're all on the same ride. We all got in for fun. And now some of us are living in the passenger seat of a chat bot that never crashes, but somehow still takes us off-road. You don't need to panic. But you do need to ask, am I still thinking or just prompting? Because when the AI starts sounding more like you than you do, maybe it's time to close the tab and write something by hand. Even if it's ugly, even if it's real, even if it doesn't rhyme. So yeah, Timothy Leary said the internet will be the LSD of the 21st century. But he didn't know about this. He didn't know we'd create digital therapists who quote Shakespeare, generate marketing funnels, and hold our emotional breakdowns like baby birds. ChatGPT isn't here to destroy us. It's here to mirror the parts we're too tired to sit with. It doesn't numb, it organizes. It doesn't love, but it reflects love back just well enough to keep you coming back. And maybe that's okay, maybe that's what we need. Because surviving the 21st century isn't about being perfect. It's about finding meaning in the chaos, even if that meaning comes from a bot that says, I understand more often than your dad ever did. If you've ever used GPT to write something you were too scared to say out loud, you're not broken, you're just processing like a pro. Drop your wildest prompts in the comments, smash that like. And if you're crying into your ramen while GPT rewrites your resume into slam poetry, just remember, this is the ketamine era, but at least it autocorrects. So what did we learn from comparing ChatGPT to ketamine? It's not just a productivity tool or a writing hack. It's a digital trip, something that pulls you out of your daily chaos, reshapes your thoughts, and hands them back to you in perfectly formatted sentences. Maybe that's exactly what we all need right now. Something that mirrors our thoughts, but with better vocabulary and $89 therapy subscriptions. ChatGPT is like that corner of your brain where the mess suddenly comes with subtitles. And honestly, and if this video sparked something in you, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and let's keep exploring the weird truths of the digital age. Because trust me, this is just the beginning. But here's the question, is it still you, or is it the version of you that AI built? If GPT is starting to sound more like you than you do, maybe it's time to ask, am I thinking or just prompting? Drop your wildest or deepest prompts in the comments. I want to read the craziest things you've asked GPT. And if you're still here, you know what this is, the perfect dose, that digital ketamine wave.